Hi everybody, welcome to this final round video guide for the Sunshine State 9-hole cup here on the channel. Please give me a thumb up, make sure you're subscribed as well. Got a few drops here and some close misses as well. I will give you tweaks and possible alternatives of how to build on these shots here. Should get yourself a very nice score indeed, and this will give you a great starting point. Remember to take a token or two, put in some tweaks as needed. And don't forget, there will be plenty of content for the Spring Major next week on the channel. Brand new course, Sierra Plateau. Best of luck everybody, here we go. On this par 4 we are going to set up with APOC 5 plus at the top of plus 8 yards. APOC 5 and 6 will have the yellow ring touching the rough. APOC 4 you'll be at top of plus 14 with 10% of the yellow ring overlapping the rough. Then we add spin, 5.8 top spin, no side spin required here. You will see the second bounce will be just touching the edge of the sand once you've added your spin if you are in the right position. We're going to adjust max plus 10 power 3 settings, and then it is time to take our shot. No push up required here, but we are going to go full overpower with a slower needle. No curl, so centre the ball nicely and hit perfect. And this one will bounce very comfortably before the bunker and roll down the fairway to set up a shot with our short iron. Great left may clip the rough but should still roll out, and you will have a shot to the green. With the second shot here we're going to make a pin check first. Bullseye over the pin, and then we're adding spin. Max back spin, and then we want to have the ball guide going almost to the back fringe and then back through the hole, and you can see there it's going through the hole a good green square and a half. So try and replicate that position. For a plus 2 pin check we're going to play 90% slider, 60% elevation because of that second bounce being so high with the backspin, 2% slider per yard. So if your pin check was plus 1 you would play at 88% slider, plus 3 would be 92% slider, and so on. Pull over the bullseye on this one, hit perfect, and then we're going to bounce on the green and the backspin will grab and takes us beautifully to the pin and in for the eagle. We're going to play with the Guardian here in this wind angle, and we're going to go with a Guardian level 9 will be at top of plus 11 with the red ring touching the rough. Before spin you will see the second bounce there just inside that dark green square column, so make sure you have a look at that as well. Guardian level 8 you will be at P3 max. Then we're going 3.1 backspin and 3 right spin. Now with the 3.1 backspin it is 2 clicks where you can see the very small green lines on the spin bars. Try and replicate that. It will need a tweak or two, this one, because of the distance that we're bouncing from the first bounce onto the green, so use this as your starting point. Max plus 20 power 3 settings. For me that was 9.1 rings, but for you obviously always use a calculator because you will have different wind strengths and of course different club accuracies. Perfect ball away here, and we want to roll onto the green and catch a nice little run down to the pin, and here we are dropping it for a hole in 1. Decided to give you a look at the aggressive option here. It is with a luminary though. Obviously if you don't have luminaries, just play safely to the left hand side with a kingmaker and just get yourself onto the green in 2. 3.8 top spin and 2 left spin. Bullseye in the middle of that fairway island at the top of plus 19 with APOC 5 plus. I wouldn't advise this one with APOC 4 because in more headwind angle you may not reach the island on your first bounce. So if you do have APOC 4 and want to pursue this, then please take a token or two. Max plus 10 but power 3 settings, just over 1.5 balls of curl to the left, and I'm going with circle drop over power. Try and hit perfect. You don't have to use the precision luminary, but it does help on this hole with this fairly nasty wind angle. Perfect ball away, and we're playing down a narrow line in the fairway. Drive distance is going to be around 365 to 370 yards. Second shot, got to go with the Goliath, otherwise you will be short even with max topspin with the Grizzly 9. Make a rough check, bullseye over the rough line in line with the pin. Then we add spin, 4.5 top spin, 2 right spin. This will need a little bit of a tweak, just missing this one, but it is something for you to work from if you want to pursue this route. Here I set up with the ball guide just through the hole. You will need to tweak the aim based on the miss in the video, but I like the adjustment that I'm making here Just needs a little tweak to either the spin or the landing position. Rough check -5 elevation for a +10 rough check, playing this one at 10% slider. Keeping with power 3 settings, I've put it on the notepad to remind you, and pulling this one over the bullseye for accuracy. Then, of course, time to hit perfect, be nice and easy with these precision luminaries, but still not too difficult. There's no overpower on this second shot, just a little bit on the drive, so use the information here to make an educated judgment of what you want to do on this par 5. Very nasty wind angle here. I'm going to suggest a rocket setup here. Max backspin, 1 right spin. And Kingmaker or Kingslayer, you don't have to have the ace ball, but I wanted to guarantee a perfect here. And with adding spin there, we want the ball guide just pointing, you could see the tip of the ball guide to the right-hand edge of that light green square column. There it is. Then we are going to pull back in a straight line and make the bullseye clip the rough. So make sure you pull back straight from that initial position. Bullseye just where it gets clipped away by the rough. And then we go mid +15, power 3. This one will need some tweaks and it is a close miss. Very tough one. I tried setting up where we were in qualifying round, but sometimes the adjustment takes you into the bunker, which you lose distance. Sometimes it took you on the ridge above the bunker and we gained distance. It was very difficult for me to get some consistency very quickly. Little bit of right curl there, just need to tweak maybe slightly there and you've got a chance for the hole-in-one. On the drive here, we've got very nice tailwind, so we're going to set up at the top of +10 with APOC 5 and 6, red ring touching the rough, 5.8 top spin and 3 left spin. APOC 4 will have 20% of the red ring overlapping the rough on the left and you will be at P3 max rest. Then we adjust max +10 power 3 settings. If you've got really high wind here, kind of 8.5 and above, maybe up into the 9s, then I would think about just reducing the top spin slightly so that you don't miss the rough on the second bounce. Perfect ball away, you want to bounce it once here on the fairway, second time here on the second fairway, third time in the rough, and rolling out very nicely to around 375 yards. Second shot here, we're going to add spin first and then find our position. This does need a small tweak to the aim, but I feel we're in a good place with the adjustment. The spin here is 1.5 backspin and 2 bars side spin to the left. The ball guide tip is offset 3 green squares short in the video here and just under 1 green square to the left for reference, because like I said, this will need a little bit of a tweak to the aim, and the best way to do that is by looking at the tip of the ball guide. +5 with Sniper 10, playing at 82% slider, 0 elevation, just going to miss this one on the left hand side. We're going to set up with the quarterback on the drive here, red ring touching the rough on the right at the top of +0. So just before it ticks over into +1 with the quarterback 9 and 10. Then we switch to APOC and Cataclysm bag. Adding spin now, and we're going to go with 5.8 top spin and 3 bars side spin to the right. And once we've done that, it is time to adjust our rings. Max +0, power 3. For me, that is going to be 5.8 rings, and the idea here is just to make a safe drive down the narrow strip of fairway out to the left, and then we're going to set up a kind of bounce over, rough bump and roll out shot for an eagle. Very tough hole though. We're going with 2.25 ball of right curl, and just find the point there before the circle drops for your overpower reference. You can draw an imaginary line down from the tee and it would go down to the inner tip of the triangle there if you want to replicate the amount of curl exactly. Great right may be an issue here, so try and hit perfect. With our second shot, we're going to add 3 top spin and 3 bars of right spin. So we do that first. There we go. And then we find our position. It may take you a little while to find the position here, so take a token or two first if you like. It all depends how your drive goes. But you want second bounce just to be on the edge of the rough. And here I'm having the ball guide going to the hole. You will see the ball guide passes very close to the left-hand bunker, but don't worry about that. It has been fine for me in testing with perfect balls, might I add. We then adjust max +15. I would advise a small tweak to the aim here. I believe I missed this one just a little bit to the right hand side, so if it's possible to tweak the spin and get yourself a nice safe ball guide to compensate for the miss in the video, then that would be good. Max plus 15, like I say, try and hit perfect though, especially with these lower accuracy wood clubs. We're catching the rough nicely, rolling away from the bunkers, and we take a nice slope down to the pin, but as I said earlier, just missing half a green square to the right of the pin. Another nasty par 3 here to deal with. We're going to go with a no spin setup to begin with. So before you add spin, with the rock, have the blue ring touching the bunker. There you can see. But you want the first part where the ball guide gets clipped short by the rough. Make sure you are in the right position and just take care. Turn the camera as I've done here. It will help you find the position. In the video here, I add half a bar of right spin. The first tweak I do based on the miss here is just to tweak the amount of right spin a little bit. See if you can get a reference drop from that. The adjustment here is mid plus 0, power 3 settings. The reason I'm setting up quite high, almost missing the rough, is because you adjust to a lower point, and you'll see here when I take my shot that first bounce is going to be in the middle of the rough. That's because we lose distance adjusting down the slope there. So there you can see bouncing nicely, but just missing this one on the right, so maybe a couple of clicks less right spin would be my first suggested tweak in this instance. Not possible to send it in this wind angle, so we're going to lay up instead. 5.8 top spin, 3 bars left spin, and we're going with APOC 5 and 6, and the reference here is going to be the blue ring touching the rough at plus 0. APOC 4, you would have 30% of the blue ring overlapping the rough at the top of plus 6. There's the spins once again. 5.8 top, 3 left. Then it is time to adjust. We're going to go max plus 5 on this one, and the idea here will be to make a nice drive down the fairway and then set up an approach shot with the Grizzly. So max plus 5, power 3, then it's time to take our shot. No curl, no overpower, just concentrate on obviously hitting perfect, but also centering the ball in the adjustment ring very nicely. So taking our shot, hitting perfect, bouncing cleanly on the fairway, get a nice roll down in between the bunker and the rough, and the drive distance here we're looking for is around 355 yards. Now with this one, I very luckily got this in almost before the ball, well in fact it was before the ball finished rolling, so I would suggest a little tweak to the spin or the aim here based on this video, even though it dropped. 4 backspin, 1 left spin to align with the wind. I'm making a fringe check there as a reference in case you haven't got landing position plus yards, so you can pause the video, take a reference point there. But plus 1 with Grizzly 9 will be plus 4 with Grizzly level 8. Here I'm leaving the ball guide about half a green square short of pin. You can either back up the landing position slightly, leave yourself an extra half a green square to a green square, or you go with a bit more backspin. It's up to you. Here I play 80% slider, 0 elevation. Luckily this one dropped in the hole, but it's not the way we kind of want to drop shots. You want to have a little bit more rollout than me, but there's a couple of tweaks there to suggest, but the adjustment in terms of the line is spot on for the eagle. If you want to support the channel and the free content here, the best way you can do that is to head over to patreon.com/BK Golf Clash. No monthly commitment, and there's several levels there. You can choose whichever support suits you the best. All of them get all of the perks, so you get wind charts, elevation guides, shootout elevation sheets as well, all in printable format, as well as early access to tutorials and other exclusive content here on the channel. So if you do want to support us, it's greatly appreciated. Head over to our Patreon page. Now, of course, if you've got a Thor ball or something like that, you could play an aggressive topspin boost and then try and get yourself to the far distance fairway, but it will need considerable dialing in. So here's a layup with the Kingmaker, safe eagle, white ring touching the wood edging there on the left at P3 max, 5 top spin, 3 left spin with the Kingmaker and the quarterback, then we adjust max plus 10. If you've got higher wind than me, I would reduce the top spin slightly, otherwise you might miss the rough or overshoot. So just have that in mind, could be a potential tweak needed there. 3/4 ball curl to the left, take care not to overpower this shot. I'm just pulling horizontally. You can see there that second bounce was a little bit high up in the rough, so you could adjust a little bit more or just take a couple of clicks off the top spin. Second shot here, I go with 1 back spin and 2 right spin, aiming at a P3 max rest in the middle of the fairway. The problem here is I may be a little bit short in other wind angles, so I would suggest you go down to about 0.8 backspin and see how you go from there. I'm not looking to threaten the pin here for the Albatross. This is just a get it to green safely. Thankfully we can use the sniper here. Max plus 10, power 3. I go with full curl to the right and then just before the circle drops as our overpower reference. Hitting perfect. Like I said, you could tweak the spin if you want to, or go for a more aggressive route and try and get that Albatross, but it just comes in a little bit short of pace, so I would say a little bit less backspin just to make sure you get on the green, and then you'll be putting to secure your eagle on this par 5. Thanks very much for watching this video here on the channel. If it has helped you in any way, please consider sharing it amongst your friends and clanmates in the game. Join us also on Facebook. Head over there, search for BK Golf Clash and join our free group. Loads of members there sharing shots. Free guides are posted as well as loads of other great Golf Clash resources. So check us out there. You can join in the discussion and also leave feedback on the game in general. Finally, if you wish to help support the channel and keep the content free for everybody, please consider becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the video description down below. Good luck, see you soon, bye for now.